This fall, the Los Angeles Unified School District will be pressing the LA voters to approve another school bond. This time, they're going all out. They're literally going for broke. This time, they want $7 billion. After spending almost $1 billion on the notorious Belmont Learning Center alone. At least we, the taxpayers, got a thank you from the superintendent.
And I would like to thank the community, the taxpaying community, for helping us to fund a school like Edward R. Roybal Learning Center, because without you, we could not educate our children. And as you've already heard, as a result of this $20 billion program, we are contributing to the economy. And we are in tough economic times right now. So this building program, through the next 61 schools that we have to build, will contribute more to the economy and perhaps help us through these tough economic times.
According to Keynesian economics, government can help maintain economic growth and stabilize an economy. This is one step away from socialism, where government has total control of the source of labor and capital. David Hernandez is the executive director of the San Fernando Chamber of Commerce. He identifies the real purpose of the proposed $7 billion bond.
We want to provide a good education for our children, but it's good to remember that the sole purpose of the educational system here in Los Angeles is not just reading, writing, and arithmetic. It has also created a very large economic engine for union members, for contractors, for suppliers. There is a built-in, I want to say, a beast that demands it be fed on a regular, constant, and ever-increasing basis.
The country may have a school building week, but we've got a school building decade here, and a few more schools to finish. Today, this school opening up is number 71 from that time. 71 schools.
So the beast is continuing to feed off past bond measures. LA activist George Bazzetti tracks the spending of LAUSD. He was appalled by the overt greed of the beast, who as developers, suppliers, and contractors consume most of the money on the Belmont Learning Center.
In 2003, this school was $220 a square foot. Today, it's over $1,000. You can't show me that any employee has made 500% more in wages, or the commodities have gone up 500%. That means only one thing. The money went into the owner's pockets for free. That's what's going on in this entire school district.
We're not done yet, 61 more to go, and by 2012, we'll have 2-semester neighborhood schools for everyone. So don't let anybody tell you that we're overbuilding. Absolutely not. There's still a lot of schools out there that need it.
And so the beast needs more of your money. But are you aware of how much money you're already obligated to pay every year?
The bonded indebtedness from person has gone from $38 to $1,500 with these bonds. And you're not getting your money's worth. I'm not against building schools, but not blowing the money away and giving it away for free. It's wrong.
We're looking at a $7 billion LAUSD bond coming up in November. Well, enrollment in LAUSD has dropped, yet they want to build more schools. And I was about to say they need to build more schools. Yes, they need to build more schools because you have the beast needs more construction, that needs more substance in order to keep perpetuating itself.
School Board President Monica Garcia appreciates how much you, the taxpayer, have given her to spend.
LA voters have put $20 billion in to close the gap because we've gone from being 7th in the nation per pupil spending to 47th. And that is not the kind of vision we have for our kids. So
when the head of the school board was talking about where Los Angeles ranks in relation to the rest of the country with spending on per pupil, I think she said it was something around 40th or something like that. Well, where do we rank with the educational progress? somewhere around Alabama or Louisiana, and that's nothing against Alabama or Louisiana, but if you have a $7 billion LAUSD operating budget, you've had at least 4 facility budgets, facility bonds in the past, and now you're looking at another $7 billion, and you have a declining enrollment rate, and yet you have a dropout rate of between 40 and 70%, depending on the district. You have to reassess not only what your priorities are, but what programs are working and aren't working.
So today, as we celebrate what we've done for the economy, what we've done for the tax base, what we've done for the industry, and most importantly, what we've done for the children of LA, we are absolutely sending a very strong message. Invest in us. We know what we're doing.
When Monica talked about, education and Vista, and Belmont being a financial engine, she was speaking more of the truth than I think she realized. I would have thought the first thing out of her lips would have been having to do with the education of the children, and that this would be something that we can be proud about, rather than talking about all of the business that this has created. That's kind of like not her job. Her job, and I think the board of directors, is to create an environment where children can learn, where children can be safe, and by being safe, it's a little bit more than moving the bus stop a little bit closer to the school so the children aren't picked off by gang members.
To educate our viewers, here's a short history of the bonds, the money that LA taxpayers have borrowed for LAUSD. In 1997, voters approved Proposition BB for $2.4 billion. In 2002, the voters approved an additional bond of $3.35 billion for Measure K. But that still wasn't enough. The school district came back 2 years later with another ransom demand for your children, demanding another $3.87 billion. Voters relented by approving Measure R, and the very next year, the beast needed even more money, demanding the highest yet. $3.9 billion in Measure Y. The total for the 4 bonds exceeds $13 billion. But wait, there's more. California taxpayers are required by California law to match the funds appropriated by the district. So all California taxpayers get to feed the beast in Los Angeles. Los Angeles Unified School District has raised $13.6 billion, so the rest of California has to ante up with another $13.6 billion for a total of $27 billion in the past 10 years. $27 billion, and it's still not enough. According to Mr. Bizzetti, they blow through that money on a regular basis.
When they passed BB, $2.4 billion, it was over on $1.744 billion. To have straight math, the next bond you pass, you got to take 1.744 off of that to come to zero and be even money. They kept overrunning them all.
And yes, there's still more. Do you know how much interest is paid on the bonds? Like any lender, the bond buyers earn interest on the money they lend. A lot of interest. You can imagine how much interest there is on tens of billions of dollars. Former State Assemblyman Keith Richmond knows. How come nobody tells the public that the interest alone is going to cost as much as the principal?
Well, Leslie, that's in fact just what I was talking about. It's essentially for any bond, it's going to cost double what the bond is. So for $40 billion, the total cost is going to end up being about $80 billion between the principal and interest.
Double. That's what he said. Double. So if LA voters agree to borrow another $7 billion this fall, they will end up paying the bond buyers $14 billion in taxes. How much will that be per household? Mr. Bizzetti claims that due to the falling property values, the LAUSD is running out of rope with which to hang us.
Next year, property is going to be reevaluated in this county. Properties dropped 24%. You can only write bonds, the differential between the property valuation of the district and the outstanding bonds. Well, when they reevaluate that property, they can never pass this bond because they have it right up to the limit right now.
Invest in us. We know what we're doing. Thank you.
We want to know what you, the viewers, think. Please respond to our survey and be sure to leave your comments below. Number 1. Do you think that all California voters should have the right to approve Los Angeles school bonds since they have to provide matching funds? Yes or no? Do you think they should disclose in the bond language how much interest you will have to pay for the bond? Yes or no? Number 3. Which do you think is more important for the LAUSD? Educating children or stimulating the local economy? Please be sure to leave your comments below. Thank you.